The promise of world peace. This video provides a summary of the Statement on Peace by the Universal House of Justice and is based on deepening material prepared by the National Spiritual Assembly. Why should I care about this message? Well, because it is important and concerns us all, because it is addressed to you, because it can help bring peace to the world if people read it, understand it, and act upon it. What is it exactly? It is a message of hope for the future and a way of understanding what is wrong with the world. It explains what we must do to achieve peace. Who is it from? It is from the Universal House of Justice, the supreme governing body of the Baha'i faith. This body is elected by Baha'is from all the different peoples, races, and nations of the world. Who else has read it? Copies were presented to kings, queens, presidents, and rulers throughout the world, and to many political and religious leaders. The aim is to reach everyone. It is also addressed to you, the peoples of the world. This is a summary of the full message issued by the Universal House of Justice on October 24, 1985, on the 40th anniversary of the founding of the UN and the beginning of the International Year of Peace. The original message can be obtained from www.baha'i.org. The message says, "The time for world peace has come. The great peace long promised and hoped for by the prophets, poets, and peoples of the earth is now not only within our reach, but is inevitable. We all have a choice either to wait for wars of unimaginable terror to sweep the earth, which will force us to make peace, or to change our ways and start working for that peace now. We have already seen hopeful signs with the formation of the United Nations and many organizations for peace and international cooperation. Science is now advanced enough to solve our practical problems, but people have yet to overcome the false ideas, prejudices, and superstitions about each other that's preventing them from fully benefiting from it." This message from the Universal House of Justice was originally given by Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, to the rulers of the earth more than a century ago. Baha'u'llah foresaw the chaos which would come if people did not learn to work together. Everyone wants peace today, but most people believe that humans are naturally selfish, violent, and unable to change, so they think peace is not possible. Once we realize that humanity can change, we can all start building systems which will bring peace instead of war. Baha'is believe that the present chaos is a natural stage in our planet's progress towards unity as humanity grows into adulthood. We should not lose hope. Confusion comes before rebuilding. Peace is now possible, and we have everything we need to make it so. Please think about this. The changes we see, no matter how dark and troubled the world becomes, will help us all to reach our full potential and our destiny. The human race is distinguished from all other forms of life by the human spirit. This spirit reaches towards the highest good, which we call God. The religions which have been brought to us by a series of teachers have been the link between humanity and that highest good. No serious attempt to bring peace can ignore religion, which has had such a strong influence on our civilization, our laws, and moral behavior. Baha'u'llah has said that if the light of religion is hidden, then chaos and confusion will follow, and human nature will become perverted and corrupt. The human race is only itself to blame for this chaos. We should have not listened to those who made up their own ideas about the prophets of God, and who separated reason from faith and science from religion. The idea that we should treat others as we ourselves would wish to be treated is in all the great religions, but humanity has failed to see this unity. Had humanity appreciated this unity, it would have benefited from recognizing these holy teachers as agents of one progressive process. Failure to do this lies at the heart of the religious fanaticism we see today, which is nothing but a dying convulsion. Its cruelty and violence shows it for what it is, a movement that is empty of spiritual values. For a long time, people believed that religion is irrelevant to the modern world. They have turned instead to material pleasures or man-made political belief systems. But these systems make one group superior to all others, stop open discussion, and allow millions to starve while a few live in luxury. Their record is nothing but tragic. They have produced chaos, suffering, and hopelessness. The leaders of these materialist systems, whether capitalists or socialists, must now be challenged. Where is the new world that they have promised? Why are so many sinking ever deeper into starvation and poverty, while those same leaders who have so much wealth and power at their disposal? These systems are based on the false belief that humanity is hopelessly selfish. This belief must be cleared away if mankind is to progress. We must give up false ideas. Will humanity continue to hold on to the bankrupted ideas of the past? Will the world's leaders come forward to work together for solutions to our problems? If we care for the future of the human race, we must give up any idea or system that no longer serves humanity's welfare. The banning of certain weapons now in use is a step along to peace, but this alone would not put an end to war. People can always invent new weapons, nor would war come to an end by the signing of agreements between 2 or 3 nations. We need something which will deal with the whole world at once. National leaders realize the scale of the problems, but are unwilling to act because of the belief that humans are naturally quarrelsome. Ordinary people find it difficult to make their voices heard, even though they long for peace. The United Nations has produced the Declaration of Human Rights and many other statements which have been accepted by governments. Such hopeful documents are preparing the way for world peace. We need to recognize that racism is ill and a barrier to peace. Everyone must recognize the oneness of humanity, and it must be upheld by suitable laws. The huge gulf between the rich and poor is a source of great suffering and war. It needs spiritual, moral, and practical solutions. Experts must consult with each other and with the victims to end this injustice. Nationalism must come second to love for the whole world. To look after your nation, you must look after the whole world. Baha'u'llah said, "The earth is but one country and mankind its citizens." Religious differences cause war. The leaders and followers of all religions must overcome their differences and work together to promote understanding and peace. The equality of women with men is essential for peace, which will only come when women have equality in every aspect of human activity. Denial of this equality is unjust against 1/2 of the world's population. Universal education should be given urgent attention, and priority must be given to women and girls, as they are the mothers of the next generation. The idea of world citizenship should be taught to every child. To help solve the basic lack of communication between peoples, we urgently need an international language, which everyone can learn in addition to their own language. Peace is not a simple task. Political agreements are not enough. Peace comes from a spiritual and moral attitude. Lasting solutions will only be found by encouraging this attitude. When examining any social problems, the moral principles involved must be identified first. If leaders of governments realize this, solutions will be found more easily. The main question is how to change the present world order from its current pattern of difference and fighting to love, towards a pattern of harmony and cooperation. Such a world order can only be based on the oneness of humanity, which means letting go of all prejudices. The oneness of humanity should be announced everywhere, taught in schools, and spoken of in every nation. This is the foundation of a new world order. Unity in diversity. This means that the world must have one system of government, one economy, one shared language, one script, and one common aim. But every nation will keep its own unique identity and tradition. Each nation will still run its own affairs, but must put needs of the world first. Changing national attitudes will be a gradual process. We must all agree on a common set of laws to govern the relationship between nations. A time for unlimited national powers has come to an end. A world superstate must now be created, which will include all international executive powers with absolute authority. A world parliament elected by a plurality in their own country, and a supreme tribunal with binding judgment on everyone. A world community will have no economic barriers, no religious arguments, no racial discord. Instead, there will be one set of laws, and people will come to regard themselves as citizens of one world. Baha'u'llah called for a vast gathering of people and world leaders to consider the ways of laying the foundation for world peace. If the people of this gathering consult together with courage, determination, pure motives, and selfless love, then they will find the will to act. This gathering must establish an agreement which should be regarded by all as sacred. This agreement should fix the boundaries of each nation, strict limits on armaments, and lay down rules for international relations. The whole world should arise against any government that breaks any part of this agreement. The holding of this mighty gathering is long overdue. We appeal to the leaders of all nations to call this world meeting. History brought us to this point, the dawn of humanity's maturity. Surely the United Nations, with the full support of its membership, will rise to play its part. Let men and women, youth and children everywhere give their support. Let it be this generation which establishes world peace. Permanent peace is not the final goal of human social development. The goal is rather the unification of all peoples of the world in one universal family. This unity is too important to ignore. We must recognize the oneness of the human race and set up the essential mechanisms to put it into practice. The experience of the Baha'i community is an example and a proof of the possibility of a global society, and is offered as a model for study. Baha'u'llah says, "These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come."